Hello, it's Omaji, and the Council of Light is also fully present to support you in remembering a more honoring relationship with the physical realm and with your body deva. The body deva is actually a nature spirit that you partner with in your incarnation here on Earth that links you into Earth. And you couldn't incarnate without your body deva. Your body deva emanates as an aspect of nature, as a nature spirit, and serves to etherically manifest and reflect the physical form that you ride in as a etheric being of light, as a soul. And the body deva is in its phase of evolution for many of us now that are on an accelerated awakening journey. The body devas that we partner with are now becoming ready to move into their next phase of evolution, which is their conscious evolution of themselves, just as you as a soul move through various phases of your ascension, your remembering, your enlightenment, and still are. The body deva that you partner with is on its own journey of awakening and evolution, and it's on a particular phase. And because of the current climate and energetic structures that are here to support ascension, awakening, evolving, the body devas are becoming into a readiness. It's like they're coming into a readiness to consciously evolve themselves the way you, at some point in your own journey, did that for you. You started to wake up. You started to become aware. Oh, I have choice. I can choose in favor of my ascension. I can choose in favor of my remembering. I can choose in favor of the release of what no longer serves me. And so the body devas are now moving into that phase, or they've just crossed that threshold. And not for everyone on the planet, but for those that are ready, for those that have cultivated that willingness, that readiness. And so we're going to be offering a series in January, starting January 16th, called the Body Deva Upgrade to 5D Consciousness. And it's really intended and orchestrated in a way that is meant to serve massive support and honoring and everything the body deva needs, really. It's like, here you go, body deva. If you're ready, you can take some quantum leaps here and really roll up your sleeves and begin to release what no longer serves you and to move into the oneness-based systems. And so it's meant to be, they're saying, the guides are saying, the Council of Light is stepping forward, an energetic toolkit, an energetic sessions and toolkit to really support the body deva, to give the body deva everything it needs to step forward in its own power, to step forward in its own recognition of itself, to step forward and begin to have the awarenesses and the tools it needs to begin to consciously evolve itself. And in collaboration with that, since you ride with the body deva, the tools for you to support the body deva in a co-creative way, not a codependent way. So a lot of this is going to be retiring the codependent patterns that we've had in all relationships, that the body deva may still be running unconsciously because it's not yet conscious for the body deva to choose beyond it. And that's part of what this series is going to do, is make these ways of being, these patterns, conscious, so that new choices can be made in the now moment based on the new, based on where we are now, our current level of consciousness, and retiring a lot of mechanisms for evolution that were disempowering, that were based in suffering or sacrifice or pain, or a learning that maybe wasn't as honoring as evolving consciously can be, because when we're evolving consciously, we begin to rewire our perception of what this reflection is for us, and we can help the body Deva do that for itself, so that we begin to use the reflection as a way to, as a mirror, to see what's running in our energetic field, so we know what our choices are, so we can begin to choose beyond those old patterns, experiences, energies, frequencies, and vibrations. And so it's going to be this co-creation, this collaboration, you choosing for you, the body Deva choosing for itself. And we're going to give you a little taste of it here. So deep breath in. And we invite you at the level of your higher self, your body Deva's higher self, and your teams to work with your energetic fields and the guides to energetically locate anywhere in your consciousness, your energetic fields, where you're holding responsibility for recognizing the value of others. When we hold responsibility for recognizing another's value, they are no longer holding that responsibility for themselves, and so they're not going to recognize their own value. They're always going to look to you to do it for them. And I'm being shown an example of a good friend of mine who had this relationship with a parent that transitioned, and that source of recognition left when the parent died. So because they didn't cultivate for themselves the recognition of their own value, they appear to not have it. They appear to no longer have this recognition, and they feel this void, they feel this loss, even though the divine design is that we're actually intended to give it to ourselves. So this is an example of a codependent pattern. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment here. It's just awareness. Inviting you, your body, your teams to recognize that when we hold responsibility for another in any way, in this case, we're speaking to them recognizing their value, we disempower them and we set ourselves up as source for them, instead of allowing them to hold the responsibility and encouraging them to hold the responsibility for recognizing their own value. And then we can mirror it back to them, which is very different than us being in charge of making sure they know their value, because that's not our job. Even though it sounds virtuous and it sounds helpful, they never cultivate it for themselves if we do it for them. And so this is all about energetically, unconsciously, how the lines of energy are set up. Are there lines of energy, inviting you again to invite your higher self, your body Deva's higher self, to just check, do we have lines of energy to another where they're looking to us to be the source of their recognition of their value, the recognition of their worth? Oh, wait, that's not helpful because I'm not the source of it. Source is their source, and their source is within them. That's how they connect to it. They are a beam of light emanating from source, and they can connect to the source of the recognition, right? The infinite supply of that recognition of their worth within themselves, and they can activate it within themselves energetically. And if I attempt to do it for them, I muck up the system, because now they've got an energetic cord into me, looking to me to be that for them. Deep breath in. So we're going to show you the difference between you energetically setting yourself up as the source of the recognition for another, and you mirroring back to them their value, their worth. But you're not attached to them knowing it for themselves. You're letting them hold that responsibility to be attached for them knowing it for themselves. Because when we want for another, it's equivalent to trying to choose for them. When we get attached to them knowing something for themselves, it's equivalent to us trying to control them energetically. So we're going to show you what we mean by that. And deep breath in. And what if it's actually time to see through a different lens in how we can actually best serve another, best be, it's like be in the highest level of support and service that is not codependent, because that isn't really support and service. It's a substitute for it that functions from separation consciousness. Can we show you what we mean by that? So we're going to invite the body devas, especially here, because they are conditioned in the separation consciousness from basically their first incarnation on Earth. And body devas really value feeling connected, loved, accepted, and that they belong. And so a lot of times they'll use a mechanism like setting themselves up to be the source of recognition for another, or the source of something for another, so that they have that codependent attachment where they think that's how they're going to love me, right? They're going to accept me. They're going to appreciate me. I'm going to feel like I'm valued, and I'm part of their tribe, part of their family. When really that's a very discordant and codependent separation-based way to try to get that. And it doesn't really work. If it does work, it works very temporarily. And it's never really pure connection. It's never really pure love. It's always with a condition. As long as you be the source of recognizing my value for me, I'll love you. And that's not really love. So we're going to bring in some energetic downloads to help the body, David, begin to really recognize, and you, if you're doing this as a soul, how this isn't helpful, how it doesn't really work, how it's discordant, how it's maybe a few stages back in our evolution, and we're ready to graduate from it because we're ready in this moment to remember oneness with source for us and for all life. And we are not the source for anyone. So inviting you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva's higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to return back to its right and perfect place, all responsibility you're holding to recognize another's value back to them. And as a former high school teacher, I can tell you, I did this. I held the responsibility to make sure all those kids knew they were important and they were valued. And now I recognize it would have been so much more helpful to encourage them to recognize and value themselves, again, energetically. And then as I work with them in an inner plane, encouraging them to value themselves, to hold responsibility for valuing themselves, not attached to them doing it, then I can begin to mirror back to them in proportion to what they've activated. And so the understanding of that may come later, and that's why we're going to spend 4 90-minute sessions moving through this learning, because to anchor it, it's a whole different way of perceiving. It's a whole rewiring of our consciousness from 3D separation consciousness into 5D unity consciousness. And it's going to support the body, Deva, it kind of as the one stepping forward, but then you're also going to receive benefit because you can do it right along with the body, Deva. Deep breath in. We're going to invite you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva's higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to energetically locate any attachment you have on anyone or anything for them valuing themselves, recognizing their value. Retrieve all that energetic attachment, which is your power, back to you. Clean it, recalibrate it, reweave it in your own energetic fields. Now, when we invite this, you aren't doing it mentally. Your body isn't doing it mentally. We're making the request for you to give permission for your higher selves to do it for you. And your higher selves go to work. And you just breathe and allow and maybe witness. You may witness energy moving. You may witness light and sound and vibration. You may just feel lightheaded or more peace or nothing. and it's all perfect. If you step into the willingness and the yes, your higher self will take it from there. Deep breath in. So we're going to remind you and your body what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe for you to only hold responsibility for you recognizing your value for you, because as you do it, you model to others, you demonstrate to others how to source it for themselves from source. And we hold the responsibility at the level of our higher selves. So we're going to energetically remind you of that. And then we're going to invite you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva, the level of your higher self, and your teams work with the energetic fields and the guides to bring all responsibility for you valuing and recognizing your value for you back to you, the level of your higher self where you have the capacity to hold it. And then inviting you, once that responsibility is seated appropriately within your energetic systems, activate more recognition and value of self straight from source. It's a frequency. It's not a story. It's not an intellectual understanding, and it's not an experience yet. That's the side effect. It's the vibration. Just make the request, higher self, Body Deva's higher self, if you choose, activate the vibration, the remembering of the recognition of my value within me. And what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe for me to hold that within me to be the source of it at source, because source is me. I am an emanation of source. It's within my light. Deep breath in. And the side effect of you shifting out of the codependent pattern is that there are many benefits. One is you now have access to more of your own resources and that can then reflect in your experience. Your Body Deva has access to more of its resources. It's orienting more appropriately in oneness and not in separation. So it can experience oneness with source more frequently. It's more of a consistent experience. And there's a greater sense of empowerment and connection. Deep breath in. Good. So some energetic downloads coming in, unique to each of you, to support you in really integrating and moving into a harmonious kind of relationship with the new, with what you've been invited into. We're going to invite a balancing and stabilizing of your energetic fields and an updating of all your grids and your reference points, encouraging you to energetically cocoon yourself to the degree that's appropriate for your current evolutionary state, inviting your bodies to do the same, to help seal these vibrations in to the degree that's appropriate. We look forward to connecting with you all again soon. And if you're interested in spending a month with us to really dive in, roll up your sleeves, and support the Body Deva in its evolution, the Body Deva Upgrade to 5D series begins on January 16th, and you can learn more on our website at embracingtheinfinite.com. We do also have an early bird price that's available for the next 2 weeks. So feel into it, follow your knowing, and may you continue to ascend and evolve in an empowered and honoring way. Much love.